Yo, yo, yo. Today, we predict the NFL season. Episode 1 for week 1.
Felix, welcome to Best Ball Nation.
As always, that a wonderful intro was made by Davis Payne, a former best baller. Well, sort of still a best baller, but now working for Underdog, or at least last known location for Davis was working for Underdog. He made that video. It was pretty awesome of him to do that for me, especially since I mainly DK, but I love Davis. So, and if you ever want to hear the interview with me and Davis, I believe he might have been my first Know the Nation person on there a few years back. And you can find that at patreon.com/Best Ball Nation. $5 a month. You get exclusive interviews with people around the industry. You get my ranks, and you get entered into a league where you can win up to $200. And typically, it's past few years, it's been to 6 to 10 to 12 people. It's not a lot of people, so it's one way to recoup some of your winnings or losses that you may have throughout the season. You will see my wife in the background here. She might not be in it in the next little scene that I go to. Just so you guys hear some tools. My wife is she wears the pants in the relationship, and she does all the heavy lifting. And even though she's 9 months pregnant, she does all the fun stuff. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to Steen Custom Layout 5. We're going to predict week 1 of the NFL season. And then we're going to make obviously 17 of these, see where that goes, and then the next 4 weeks after that. And that'll be this series. Just to kind of gauge what we're really like, what our thought process is on who's actually going to be winning each game, and predict the season. It's just for fun. Obviously, I'm probably going to get most of these wrong, or 50% of them wrong. I'm about a 50% batter when it comes to predicting, like just not lines, just money lines of games. I did pretty good last year. I would go 9-12, or 9-3. You know what I'm trying to say. We above average on the main games. You know what I'm saying? And we do pretty good. We're not saying we're the best. We're the expert pickers, but we're pretty good. We're pretty dialed in. Obviously, we don't know. There's going to be injuries that we can't predict, and that'll change everything. But we get to go through and predict all the games, and then I think this doesn't save, so I'm going to have to do this off air to get it back to where it is. But this is something I can do for fun, and it's going to be fun. All righty, let's get this party started with the week 1 first game of the year. Dallas at Philadelphia. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have made some improvements, but they have not made enough improvements. And the tush push did not get banned. I'm going to have to give this to Philadelphia. They do it'll auto-populate a score. I did not put these scores in. Just wanted to put that out there. 15-22. Okay, so that's a weird score, but I can see it. 5 field goals by Dallas, and I don't know how that they got 22. I'll be honest with you. Let's see here. The Kansas City Chiefs versus my Los Angeles Chargers in Mexico or Venezuela or God knows what Brazil town we're in, but we're somewhere down in below the equator, I believe. I think us being more Hispanic speaking people think we're going to have more fans there than we do at home in our own stadium. And I think we take it. I think we upset the Kansas City Chiefs. They're coming off a loss to the Eagles. They're kind of shell-shocked. Their offense is in a rebuild. Their defense it's not great. So we're coming off high-powered. We got Najee Harris toting the rock. We have Marion Hampton also taking some shares. We have McConkey, Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston. We have, I think, the Tyler Conklin. We're pretty set on the offensive side, so we could keep up with Kansas City. Defensively, we only lost Joey Bosa, and I feel pretty good that we're improving. We're not having to rely on somebody that's always injured. So I'm going to give us the win there. Next is Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. I mean, I just have to give it to Tampa Bay. They're just going to be able to outscore them. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't understand. If this is not like 33-35, I wouldn't be surprised Tampa Bay wins this. I just believe in Baker Mayfield more than I do Penix. I think Penix is a better quarterback than he currently, has shown. And I think he's not going to have a Pat Mahomes type season or anything like that. But I do think that he is better than what Kirk Cousins was last year, and as good as what Penix played last year. But I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up with Tampa Bay healthy at the beginning of the season. Mike Evans, coming off another 1,000-yard season, healthy at the beginning of the year. Chris Godwin, who even if he's not healthy, there is Jalen McMillions. There is Ibuka and Tez Johnson and Bucky Irving and Sean White, Kadon. I just think there's just so many options healthy at the beginning of the season. You can't predict how good they're going to be, but there's really only 1.5 options two and a half options. Sorry, I forgot about Bijan and Drake London. And if Pitts can figure out what he's doing, I think we give the slight edge to Tampa Bay in a high-scoring affair. Yeah, 31-24 is pretty high for a Week 1 game, so that's good. Cincinnati at Cleveland. I feel like Cincinnati gets all the easy matchups that they can handle at the beginning, and they still struggle to win at the beginning of the season. I think this year is going to be a little different. I think this year they're coming out guns a-blazing, and this might be a theme throughout the year. I have a good feeling about the Bengals this year. 16-15. Holy cow. That is a low-scoring game. Miami versus the Indianapolis Colts. A tie. No, I was kidding. Miami versus Indianapolis. I have to give it to Miami. I think it's going to be a pretty close game like it's showing here. I think the running game with Devin Achane and Wright and Ollie Gordon with Tyreek Hill and Waddle taking over. I just don't think they have the quarterback accuracy is just going to be on hand here. I love Anthony Richardson. I think he'll provide some plays just on his own, but it's just I think that defensive lineman Chop Robinson is just going to have his way with the Colts line. I think it'll be a good game. I think it will be close, but I do think Miami wins the game under 3 points for sure. Carolina at the Jags. So two of my favorite teams this year. I think the way that the Panthers were playing at the end of the season, if they were able to carry any momentum onto this year, I think they win this game pretty handedly. Even though Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Henry and Brian Thomas Jr., I'm not saying it could be a fluke, but Brian Thomas was popping off in like random moments with Mac Jones, like I don't know. I don't know. I think we need to give it a couple weeks, and I think I want to bet on Carolina versus Jacksonville earlier on. Things were on the up and up in Carolina. Jacksonville was on the downslope. Though I do love what's his face. I do think it takes a little bit to get back on the ship. Dave Canales versus Mr. Duval himself, but we go Carolina here. I think Thielen, Ted McMillions, Chuba, Dowdle, they're getting pretty tough to stop too, themselves. They got a big higher powered offense. They're both their defense. The Jacksonville defense is better than I think this is showing, but I think Carolina, I think it's more along the lines of this game score wise than it is this, but who knows? Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. That's a tough game. Patriots versus Raiders. Oh, man. I don't know what I think here. I wish I could simulate, but I think it would simulate all the games. I think they're going to have a tough start. Those Patriots are a little pesky at the beginning of the season. And I don't know. I'm going with Raiders. They're at home, though. Home opener in Patriotville. Boston. From Boston. We'll go home team there. I don't know. That was a close one. Apparently, they got blown out. Cardinals at the Saints. It is an easy victory for the Cardinals. There's not enough firepower to keep up with them. Pittsburgh at the Jets. That's an interesting game, especially if Aaron Rodgers is what I'm expecting to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, going to the Jets. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers handle the Jets. I don't know if they handle the Jets, but I think they get the dub. Even though that defense is pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I think that's a good game. New York versus Washington. New York with there's no way New York is able to keep up with Washington. I don't know what it's taking me so long. I think that'll be a good game to watch. Jaden Daniels kind of continue his ways. Maybe see Abdul Carter do something, but I think they get it kind of handled in check. And Hayden Neighbors goes for 120 yards and has a 2-touchdown game. And Tyron Tracy fumbles it away, and Washington wins it. Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos. I just think they're still kind of rebuilding. I think the Broncos win that. The score is going to be misleading. It's going to be like 20 to nothing in the third quarter. They get 3 touchdowns late or something, and they get 2 field goals. They'll keep him off. San Francisco versus Seattle. I think San Francisco is coming back with a vengeance. Though I do like all the guys over in Seattle. I think they're angry in San Francisco, and I think it's gonna the first victim in Seattle. Detroit and Green Bay. Detroit and Green Bay. Let's see here. What do I think about Detroit Green Bay? Detroit's been on the up and up over the last few years now. And Green Bay is always good. And they're at home. Being outdoors, I'm going to give the outdoor advantage to the Packers. Home openers. Home openers are tough. All right, we have Houston at the Los Angeles Rams. It's very interesting. I'm going to give it to Houston. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about Houston this year. You know, improving the offensive line a little bit. Yeah. If you look at the wide receivers, I'd have to give a slight edge to Houston, even though they have two dynamic receivers in Adams and Puka. But on the other side, you have Nico, Jaden Higgins, Christian Kirk, is it Jalen Noel? And I'm missing somebody. But, yeah, you got a lot of good options over in Houston. I think I'd give the slight edge to Schultz over Higbee. And the defense, I'm giving a big plus to Houston's. Even though I like Jared Verse and some of the Rams guys, I think Houston has a better advantage there. Baltimore at Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and give this to Buffalo, as they already beat them once in the last few months. And I believe they got better. Not like tremendously better. I think they got more better than what the Baltimore's done. And they already beat them recently. I shouldn't say recently. And they beat them in the AFC playoffs. And for the last game of the week, we have Minnesota, the Chicago Bears. I am a J.J. MacArthur stan and bull. And I think I'm going to go with the Bears with the upset pick of week one. I think that's going to be a lot closer than it shows here. But I think the Bears squeak it out, being at home, having Ben Johnson there. And I think J.J. McCarthy's going to have a good season. I think just week one, it's going to be a tough way to do it. It's a tough way to start your season is starting off with the Bears. All right, gentlemen, that was week one. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell thing so that you know that when I'm throwing out one of these videos or when I live stream, you get notified, because I don't really do a lot of sharing what I do. So the best way to keep up with what I post and whatnot is by getting notifications for my videos. Obviously, doing more of these type of videos. I actually enjoyed doing this, and it's pretty fun. So please hit the like, hit the share, share with your mom, share with your dad, share with your cousin. You know, like my boy Dennis, he shared it with his brother-in-law, and now I see Teresa. I know that is my guy, Dennis's boy. So, and yeah, so go ahead, share it, and I don't know what else I got to say, guys. I love you. I love all of you. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun.